How are you, fam? My name is Lafayette Jefferson, and I want to talk about MLK, what's going on right now, as far as the looting and rioting and community organizing. To be transparent, I first want to say that let you know that I'm opposed to all forms of violence, but at the same time, I understand violence, and I will not judge the righteous anger of another person. Now, on MLK. On September 26, 1966, Martin Luther King was interviewed by Mike Wallace on the television show 60 Minutes. It was there that he said those words that we're hearing so many people say today in order to justify rioting and looting. A riot is the language of the unheard. Now, what we need is context. MLK was not condoning violence and looting. He was saying he understood it. MLK was actually talking about how America is failing to hear the situation of the Negro poor and how that situation has worsened. And yet, we will keep pushing towards freedom. A couple sentences after that, he clearly said avoid riots because they're self-defeating and socially destructive. So I'd like to make this clear before I go on, and I want to define my audience. My audience is the black church. All right, so, and right now, fam, we're missing the boat and we need to have a come to Jesus meeting. As I follow the events happening across the nation, the church isn't there. There's some one-offs here and there, but as a whole, all I've seen are social media posts about how rioting is wrong, how violence is wrong, and not to be condoned. Also, how it's not the responsibility of the church to assist with bail for protesters that are arrested. I've even seen a pastor say that God called him to preach, not to protest. The way I see it is that we're complicit in what's happening. See, it's like this, just a little historical context. When those enslaved African ancestors went into the swamps after a long day of working on a plantation, they did some singing, they did some dancing, and they probably heard some words of encouragement. However, their primary focus was organizing for their survival for the days ahead of them. And let me tell you why this is important. The church is not in this fight right now because it has no credibility on the streets. Now, we can make up any convenient excuse, but the fact remains at this time, the church is a non-factor. Now, those people in the streets are rioting instead of protesting because they don't know what to do. And they don't know what to do because we're not teaching them, and we're supposed to. I consider my job description to be the Great Commission, which is found in Matthew 28, 18 through 20. Jesus said, all authority on heaven and earth has been given to me. That's Jesus telling us that he has the authority. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations. That's Jesus delegating that authority to us. Baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and of the Holy Spirit. That's Jesus telling us to bring others into community, our community, and teaching them to obey everything I've commanded you. To teach is to organize. And then Jesus closed it out by saying, and surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. And that's Jesus letting us know that he has our back. So, in summary, Jesus had the authority. Jesus has the authority. He delegated to us to organize the people, to bring them in the community, and within those efforts, he has our back. So to me, that will always be my job description. Now, when MLK said that a riot was the language of the unheard, today, right now, I interpret that to mean that we're not hearing, relating, or connecting to our communities the way we should. And maybe that can mean our churches aren't doing the things we're supposed to do. Now, if churches were organized, I think recent events would look a lot different. I think we would be leveraging an actionable agenda nationwide instead of rioting. People would be strategizing instead of reacting out of raw emotion. And frankly, I think we can get there. I believe that when we're together, we win. But to get there, we need to organize. Organizing takes a lot of work. It's hard, but the results are long-term, sustainable, and beneficial. But let me say this. I believe that the church doesn't have an aversion to community organizing. I think more so that it's been so long that we've forgotten how to organize. But everyone needs to understand, if you're a faith leader in the Black church, that community organizing is a essential portion of our tradition. The answers to the problems that we face now have been faced before. And there are solutions out there that have been written by the SCLC, the NAACP, SNCC, and just all the old civil rights organizations, even ACORN. And most of their training manuals are on the web, very free, easy to find. But in addition to those resources, there are also groups of deeply committed, passionate organizations that are doing solid work both nationally and globally. Link up with them. In short, I would like to see the Black church produce a unified organizing agenda and teach the churches and communities we're located in how to organize. To build the power so our communities can become self-determinant and link in our communities with other communities for our shared survival. Maybe we'll control the vote in our communities. Maybe we'll dominate local elections. Maybe we'll organically grow leaders that will support our agendas. And even though I'm sitting here saying maybe, I know that those are things that community organizing will do. And a lot more. But before I sign off, just want to drop a few nuggets, a few thoughts. One, it's never too late to organize. Two, organized people beat big money. The time is always now. And when we organize, we win. So family, those are just a few of my thoughts. Be blessed. Take care. Have a great day.